All right, guys. Tonight's attendance 9,227, 9,227 for a gate of 728,358. Performance of the night: Borg and Carlos Diego Ferreira. And fight of the night: Swanson versus Stevens, $50,000 each. 2 transports tonight: Ellenberger and Lamas, both precautionary. Hope to have an update on them later tonight. Who's got the first question? Steven? We'll wait for a mic. Right here.
Just one quick one off the bat. Are we going to wait for the Chael Sonnen segment until after, or are we going to do that right now?
We can get into it.
Okay.
So with regards to Chael Sonnen, we were made aware that a second random test conducted earlier this month resulted in a positive test for additional banned substances. Chael will have the opportunity to appear in front of the Nevada Athletic Commission next month, and through a statement released to media tonight, he's pledged to cooperate. Our stance on the subject remains absolutely the same. We support the commission, and we will continue to ensure that all UFC competitors compete on an even playing field, free of performance-enhancing drugs and banned substances. For those of you just catching up, Chael was tested a second time earlier this month, and he did indeed test positive.
Okay, and then switching gears, question for Cub. 11 months since the last fight. How did it feel in there? Did you feel any ring rust?
No, I didn't feel any ring rust. I've been doing this for a long time now. So I trained all the way through the 11 months off, and I was just excited to finally get a fight. And when I knew it was a really game opponent and on the big stage, it motivated me.
So you said you'll pretty much do whatever the UFC wants next. If it turns out that they want you to wait, given the wait that you went through to get this fight, would you do that, or would you ask for another opponent?
I'm not really one to cry about things, so I'm just I'm excited to be in the position I'm in. I've worked real hard, so I mean, if another fight was a good opportunity for me, then I would take it. I'm not really trying to wait forever, so we'll see what happens.
And what did you feel the turning point of the fight was? Was it after the second round, a tough second round, that you felt like you got a hold on Stevens' timing?
I think I just picked up the pace in the second round. I think I hit him with a body shot that slowed him down quite a bit. But we were both throwing the whole time. I just felt like I was controlling just a hair each round.
Given the attendance here at UFC Fight Night San Antonio, how soon do you think we'll see another UFC event here in San Antonio?
I think it's possible within the next year. Typically we like to come back within a year. The one thing to keep in mind with tonight's card, for our Fight Night series in big NBA or NHL style arenas, we configure for the lower bowl. We sold that out, and within the last 2 weeks opened the upper deck. So tonight was a tremendous success for UFC. And if you think about Texas in general, we went from Houston to Dallas and now to San Antonio, red hot for us. And our Senior Vice President, Pete Ropic, continues to look at different cities, maybe even before the end of the year.
And just to follow up on that, traveling to Mexico City with UFC and Cain Velasquez, do you think we'll see more events in South Texas now that the UFC is expanding to other countries?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the one thing about Texas, great, passionate fans. San Antonio is a fight town. It always has been. You think about boxing and the guys who've competed here, but I think the one thing about South Texas that works for us, too, is its strong Hispanic fan base. I mean, you saw the reaction for Kelvin tonight. Incredible. And that's a good sign for us. And with guys like Cain and Eric Perez and some of the up-and-comers we have, strong sign for Texas in the future here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, Dave, you were here, I was here for WC 43. That was a groundbreaking moment.
Yeah.
So tonight, you guys tripled the gate and almost doubled the attendance. And the WC, when it was absorbed into the UFC, it brought in the lower weight classes and added that flavor. Do you find that fulfilling, being a part of that and seeing it expand in the UFC?
Absolutely, man. I started my career with this guy right here, Cub Swanson. And I've been with him as he grew in his career. But, to answer your question, when we did that event October 10th, 2009, in my eyes, that was the greatest fight in WEC history with Cerrone and Henderson. Won so much energy. And, I think that night we did 5,200 or 5,300 fans. And this part of Texas, they know a good fight. And I think they saw it tonight in the main event. And look, the main card had a lot of decisions. but I think the fans here truly appreciated the action. They saw guys like Clint Hester who went in there and laid it all on the line. It was a heck of a fight, and it was also a good night for our friends from Brazil. They did a tremendous job tonight. This is a great fight town. It's a great fight state, and yeah, I'm very happy to see the progress we've made in this market, and I'm really proud of the WEC guys selfishly too. Go, Johnny.
Hey, Dave, what would it take for San Antonio at this point, or is it possible to get a pay-per-view event?
I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. You look at some of the events we have coming up through the end of the year, we're fairly committed, but I think as you look into 2015, this is definitely a city that would be making all the strides we need to make here, both on TV, pay-per-view. It's a great market, John, so the chances are high. You know, when you have a main event like we had tonight, with Cub Swanson and Jeremy Stevens, who went out and laid it all on the line, it only further cements how strong of a market this is when you see that reaction.
I have a question for Mutante. I'm going to ask in Portuguese, sorry. Mutante, você pode falar um pouquinho sobre a sua luta e o final ali, que você estava controlando a luta e de repente, né, teve aquela reviravolta toda, enfim, você pode falar um pouquinho com relação a isso? I just asked him to talk about his fight, you know, because in the end of the fight he was kind of controlling Craig, and then he just got. I just asked if he was surprised at the end.
Foi uma luta muito dura, né? O Andrew ele valorizou bem a luta e no final ele conseguiu meio que inverter a posição e veio impetuoso para cima. Eu tentei meio que manter a minha distância e controlar a luta ali.
Hold on, we'll do the translation first.
I tried to control the fight, and at the very end, Andrew did a turnaround, and so I just tried to maintain my distance and hang in there.
I just would like to ask also Carlos Diego to talk about his fight. Can you talk a little bit about how was this for you? 38 seconds, your debut in the UFC. How did you feel?
I feel very surprised, you know. I feel awesome because just to be my first fight on the UFC and get tremendous fighter like Coach Smith, it's always good and a good feeling to be here now and to put my game on, and it's feeling awesome.
We'll go right here first.
Yeah, for Kelvin. If you can answer me, please, in Spanish and in English. After the victory of today, you will be in the top 10. Tell me, which is your next fight? What are you thinking now about your next fight, your future of Kelvin Gastelum in UFC?
Pregúntame
En español.
por favor.
¿Cuál es el futuro para Kelvin Gastelum dentro del UFC? Ahora que va a estar en el top 10, ¿qué sigue para Kelvin?
Pues no sé si voy a estar en el top 10 o no, pero ¿verdad? El plan es seguir, ¿verdad? Por pelea y ganar las peleas y, ¿verdad? seguir con este ¿cómo se dice? Momentum que tengo. ¿Verdad? Y hago lo que la UFC pida de mí.
Dime cómo te sentiste después de la situación del peso, una presión que tenías dentro de ti.
Sí, pues obviamente muy decepcionado y verdad, me sentí muy bien viniendo a la pelea esta semana. Mi peso estuvo bajo, pero el corte de peso pues lo hice mal, no sé cómo, pero pues hice algún error y no me salió bien y pues
Vamos a ver a Kelvin Gastelum en México, UFC México.
ojalá que sí, en noviembre.
¿Sí? Gracias.
Question for Carlos is, talk about making your UFC debut so close to home and the valley support that came up here for you.
It's good to be home fighting for the first time on the UFC. It's like I have a lot of fans on San Antonio, and all my friends and family come down here to support me, and it's so good. I'm so grateful right now. I really appreciate all my fans to support me.
I got a few questions. One for Clint Hester. Quite the performance on the ground, man. You're going up against the BJJ champion. You held your own, flipped them off a couple of times, landed some bombs. How do you feel about your performance? Did you surprise yourself a little bit?
Nah, I really didn't surprise myself. I just really stayed patient and didn't get ahead of myself or panic. I just wanted to stay composed and calm. So I can really, I mean, 'cause I know if I stay composed and calm, I have the knowledge on the ground to have good submission defense. So I think that's where it came out of that.
All right. For Cub Swanson, how do you feel health-wise, man? Do you think you could step in? Do you think you could step in for either Mendez or Aldo if per se one of them got hurt? Do you think you can step right in there?
As long as I don't eat too many cookies tonight.
And he's had about a half a dozen so far.
And one more for Jeremy Stevens. I admire your work with the Fight for the Troops here in San Antonio. You touched on it a little bit in your media workouts and a little bit in the cage. Can you clarify a little bit more of what you've done in San Antonio?
I came out here and visited the Wounded Warriors program. I did a seminar in Lackland. It was like over like 1,000 troops. Just been around like all over the base, and it was just awesome. Really changed my life. Visiting troops that come back home, you know, their limbs are blowing off. You know, their moms and dads are like sitting right there with them, and you know, they're just excited to meet us. You know, and telling us, you know, thank you. You know, but really, it's thanks to them. It really changed my life. It was when I was like in the 3-fight losing streak, and it just it touched me, man. It was beautiful. So it was an honor to come back here in San Antonio. The fans here are great. The Hispanic crowd's amazing, and it was an honor to come back and fight for them and leave it all out there. It's cool to have a good opponent like Cub Swanson, dude's a beast, and we put it out there for you guys.
Jeremy, the story on press row in the 3rd, 4th round was that you had a broken hand, but obviously you're here, not at the hospital, so is anything broken? Are you fine right now?
No, I'm fine. I just went numb. I don't know what that was. I don't know if I just, you know, threw a wrong punch or, you know, I hit pretty hard. So he's got a hard head, and I just landed and went numb for a little bit, so I thought I broke it, but I was going to just continue to throw it. You know, UFC's got some cool coverage, and, you know, it is what it is, man.
Did you think it was close in the 5th round? Did you think you had a chance?
It was a lot of back and forth action. I hurt him, he hurt me, and it was close, man. You know, it was a great fight. It's cool to fight a guy like Cub. I've actually been a fan and watched him in WEC. I knew we would bring it like this, and it's good to go all 5 rounds and give San Antonio and everybody what they came here to see.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll lose a lot of momentum off of having a great 5-round fight. So, do you have anybody in mind next?
No, I'm just gonna go back home, eat some cookies like Cub, and get back to the drawing board, and you know, whatever's next. You know, I'm gonna be in the gym and working hard as soon as I heal up, and whatever UFC wants me to do, man. I'm a fighter at heart, natural born killer. So whatever's next, I'll be ready for.
All right, and just one for Cub. In your post-fight promo with John Anik, you said you don't beg. Obviously, you're not going to, but what does it mean to you right now to be this close to a title shot?
Well, for me, you know, winning a title is just like a dream. You know what I mean? It's something I want to do so bad, but you know, it's just something I feel like is going to come to me if I just keep doing what I'm doing. If I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, it'll come. So I just don't feel like I have to beg or try to ask for it, and if I just keep putting on good performances, it'll come.
All right, thank you.
Good, John. This question for Jeremy. First of all, did you agree with the decision?
That's really not my choice to decide the decision. You know, I think I blacked out probably during my walkout, and then we had a great fight. So it was close, man. You know, what can you do besides leave it all out there? You know, I'm not really mad. I don't really feel like I you know, lost anything in that type of performance. It was a great performance. I feel like it could have went either way. We rocked each other. We you know, we left it all out there. We had a great performance, and we're going home with a nice check. But I'll be back, man. I've been dominating guys here in this division. I just fought one of the top guys. You know, what is he, 5, 6 fights in a row? You know, if you ask me, he does deserve it. You know, Mendez, I feel like, deserves this next shot. And why not Cub Swanson? You know, he's been beating guys. I've been dominating guys, and I feel like we just put it all out there. So I feel like, yeah, he should get that shot. We had a good performance.
Did you feel during the fight that you had to get him on the ground because you were losing the war standing up, or what was your thinking?
I don't really feel like I was losing the war standing up. I just wanted to mix it up, do a complete mixed martial arts. You know, he's got good boxing, good movement, and I know he's you know, he'll allow the takedown sometimes, but he did a really good job defending tonight, and showed some really good balance, showed a lot of good skills, and it's my job to be a mixed martial artist. I'm not just an old brawler anymore. I'm a technical brawler. I can wrestle, and I can do it all. So I'm a mixed martial artist, and you know, I'll be back. I just every day I improve, and I'll get better.
Para Kelvin, el apoyo de la gente, ¿qué tan importante fue para ti desde que entraste con la canción? Y digo, algo que yo no había visto, que hicieran la ola dentro de la arena, ¿qué representó para ti?
Kelvin, can you just translate what he asked?
He said, yeah, go ahead.
What he asked was, how did it feel, you know, for him to come in with this song? It's never been done before at the UFC, a regional Mexican song, and you know, to just speak a little bit more about his feelings.
Thank you.
Sí me motiva mucho la gente que me apoya, que me estén apoyando, la gente mexicana, la gente latina, verdad siento el apoyo y me motiva mucho y me pone la sangre caliente, como dice la canción.
Nadia, would you?
Sure. He says that the people really encourage him and get him very excited, and you know, it really gets his blood boiling, you know, to hear the crowd.
This question's for Carlos. Being that you're from FAR, I know that in the Valley there's a lot of MMA gyms, a lot of people that train in Harlem and they have BJJ. Do you see yourself as a possible poster boy for MMA, UFC in the Valley?
I don't think so, but I'm living there like 5 years already, and I love where I'm from. You know, I love that town. Rio Grande Valley, it's my family over there. I have everybody over there, and I don't know, everything coming, it's always good. You know, always be good for me.
Thank you.
Time for a couple more, guys. Anybody got anything left? We'll go here in the front.
I have a quick one for Cesar. You mentioned before the fight that you thought that CB Dalloway got lucky, and that you really wanted that rematch. Is that something you're going to push for, or is it whatever the UFC wants?
Você mencionou antes da luta que que o CB Dalloway ficou com sorte e você queria uma revanche. Você ainda está pensando nisso?
Me perguntaram qual a minha próxima luta que eu gostaria de ter, e eu disse que eu quero uma revanche com o CB Dalloway. Eu não sou um mau perdedor, eu sei que ele me ganhou naquele momento, mas eu não estava nos meus melhores dias. Eu acho que realmente ele teve sorte, e eu quero um rematch, eu vou atrás dele.
They asked me before, you know, like who I would really like to fight if I win this one. And I said I'd like to have a rematch with CB Dalloway. Not that I'm a bad loser or anything, he won it, but I wasn't really on my game that day. So I'd like to have another chance.
And then one for Kelvin, what changes do you think you're going to make moving forward with your weight cut? You said before, a couple days when we were doing the media day, that everything was going fine, and things seemed to go south from there. So
yeah. I mean, my weight was real low. I came in real good and confident that I was going to make the weight, but the water unloading process just went south for me. I did it wrong somehow. You know, I did it wrong. No excuses. And I didn't make the weight. So I think I'm just going to have to reassess. Maybe talk with Mike Dolce again, and have him help me in the future.
Was the thought ever, you know, I might have to move up, or has the thought always been I'm going to stay at welterweight? That this is just a procedural thing?
The thought has always been to stay at welterweight. You know I can be a threat in this division. Although I have a ways to go, I know I can one day be a champion in this division. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this question is for Cesar Ferreira. He made a translation. World Cup is a global sport, as is the UFC's brand of MMA. Did you watch today's closer than expected Brazil versus Chile World Cup game in your city of Belo Horizonte? And if so, did it provide you with motivation tonight?
Tipo, a Copa do Mundo é um esporte mundial, como também o UFC MMA. Você assistiu a luta que era tão apertada lá na sociedade de Belo Horizonte?
Eu assisti o jogo. Eu assisti o jogo, foi um jogaço, né? Brasil e Chile, muito difícil. E foi uma vitória no futebol. E a seleção do MMA entrou no octógono hoje, né? E consegui trazer mais uma vitória para o Brasil. Conseguimos, né?
Yeah, what's the game? It was a huge game, great game, and the selection, the FIFA selection actually got to go into the MMA octagon and won another great victory for Brazil.
Anybody? All right, with that being said, I want to thank the championship staff here at the AT&T Center. Also, to keep in mind today, we also had an event in New Zealand. So we spanned the globe today, New Zealand to San Antonio. Thanks to all of our great staff. Next week, the biggest week of the year, UFC International Fight Week. 2 cards, a great weekend, and a whole week load of events. We will see you in Las Vegas. Thanks, everybody in San Antonio. See you next time.